Welcome to the Consummate Athlete Podcast, where we explore what it means to be a well-rounded, happy, goal-crushing athlete. Every week, myself, sports journalist Molly Herford, and cycling coach and kinesiologist Peter Glassford interview experts and chat through all of your training questions. We're excited to have you along for the ride. Hello. Welcome back to the Consummate Athlete Podcast. Peter, how's it going?
It's going well. We continue our multi-sport lifestyle, I guess. What were we doing this past weekend?
Yeah, my June is just crushing it with every random sport we can think of.
Okay.
So
I thought you were going to say like my legs were very sore from roller skating.
yeah, so roller skating was the event of this weekend. It was so fun. I haven't been roller skating since I was 16. So when our town had a pop-up roller skating thing at the curling arena, we were all in. So a bunch of friends went roller skating. We made it through with no injuries, which I feel like is pretty impressive.
Some near misses, but we got there.
Yeah.
My brother was saying that they actually have it down in Kitchener too. So this might be something that is more widespread than we think. So you should look that up if you can go roller skating. It seemed like most people were able to get moving and do it. So yeah, maybe it's a decent. There was all ages as well. There was little tiny kids had a good time, and even some older people. So there you go.
Are you talking about just our friend
Yes.
group? Yeah,
Specifically.
you know who you are.
But those who, they were nervous, but they got in there and they did it.
Yeah, and I'd been boxing the day before, and as we mentioned last week, we went disc golfing last week with today's guest, Gee Schreurs, which I'm butchering the pronunciation. She gives us the correct pronunciation. But if you're new to gravel cycling, you probably have heard Gee's name this year because she did, in fact, come second at Unbound, really lit up the race, super exciting. Despite being a really long race, actually really fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a great race. Yeah, really exciting. The women's racing is really, really good right now. And yeah, she's had a great season. I would say she's probably one of the strongest women I've ever ridden with, for sure, which I did get to ride with her this past week, which was really fun. And just a wealth of knowledge. She has so much experience, which we get into, both from a previous bike racing career, then also being a soigneur, as well for a professional cycling team, and then coming back. And so we go through that sort of journey where, you think about these development pathways that maybe are this nice linear line, straight line to reaching your goals and being one of the top gravel racers. But for her, it has been a winding road and a really exciting one as well.
Yeah, this is such a fun conversation for anyone that's into racing gravel, but definitely anyone who has Unbound on their list, because we got into some of the nuances of that race. But yeah, really just such a fun interview. It's been a while since we've done an athlete interview like this, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, really, really good, and a lot of action, things that you can do to make your gravel racing better, I think, whether you're going to Unbound or not, but certainly we get nitty gritty on Unbound.
Yeah. And before we get into that, quick thank you to our friends over at Payable. So if you've ever tried to take payment in a Google form, you've probably found that you can't. With the Payable add-on, though, you can, which really simplifies if you're someone who just needed to create a quick registration sales thing, your kid's collecting donations for something. Like you're just trying to very quickly get some information and take a payment. Google form plus the Payable add-on makes it so much easier than, costly website subscriptions, setting all that kind of stuff up, all that jazz.
Mm-hmm. And we love it. It's some of our best friends who have started this business, and it's been running for, 6-7 years. So many, many users across the world. So we hope that you check it out. We certainly enjoy using it in our own business. And we do have a page you could visit.
Yes, payableapps.com/athlete has some of our favorite templates, some actual good deals, good savings. So definitely check that out. And you can honestly be up and running and collecting payments in under 10 minutes easily. All right. With that, let's get into our chat with Gee Schreurs. Let's just get into it. First, I'm just going to have you pronounce your name for our listeners.
Okay, my name is Gee Schreurs.
Okay. Colloquially known, or like if you've heard her in the Unbound coverage as Gee Schreurs, I feel like is how commentators say it. That's how I'm going to say it. I apologize.
It's perfect. I told my parents, they visited me a couple of weeks ago when I was doing an altitude block in France. And they said, yeah, if we knew that you would be like international or going international, we might not have given you that difficult name.
Well, I mean, I think Gee is perfect.
Gee
I
is
feel like
fine.
it's very
Yes.
very memorable and
Yeah.
So obviously we have you on the Consummate Athlete Podcast today because we want to talk to you about your really impressive background in disc golf.
Oh yes, disc golf
Is where
Yes.
we're going with this.
Yes, my new passion.
Yes, up and coming. Yes.
I mean, this is Consummate Athlete, and last week we found ourselves on a disc golf course with you, which is such a fun, pleasant surprise. Yeah, how was your disc golf experience?
It was actually really good. I have to say the first 3 holes were pretty challenging. But then once I got the swing, I guess it's called, especially with my Dutch backhand, which worked really well for me. I was into it. It was fun.
We had very different tactics, you and I. I had the tiny throw, and you had the Dutch backhand.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. So our friends, our mutual friend Jody and Laura here in Collingwood also know you from Girona. And so, yeah, they connected us and we had a wonderful half round of disc golf, which was fun to share that. And I would say I would recommend it as just sort of like a fun recovery, like joke sort of.
I actually really, really enjoyed it because the last few months has been pretty intense with like the racing and the preparation and everything. And I was so grateful for Laura and Jody to invite me for the day to celebrate Laura's birthday. We went on a nice bike ride in the morning and then we played disc golf. And I said, like at the end to my partner, Andreas, I said like, man, this is what I miss so much. And this is actually what I needed. And I think it is good for us athletes to, if you always been doing the same things, to sometimes do something completely different. And this was new. And it's actually very big in Kansas, in Emporia, where the Unbound is.
What?
It's the second.
So you had pre-practiced?
Well, no, we see all these courses, and if you put Google Emporia, then 2 events are coming up.
Wow.
One is Unbound, and the second one is the
I had
disc
no
golf
idea.
tournament.
Okay, so next year the double is what I'm hearing. You'll do
yeah.
Unbound and then
Stay another week, and then do
the next morning
tournament.
it should be everyone needs to go, and then we're gonna have this.
Exactly,
Okay.
but I never played it, and I also no idea what it was. But I watched
Cool.
on YouTube the rules.
Now, I think this relates. You and I just actually did a ride and connected, and we did workouts at the same time there, too, which was amazing. So thank you for bringing me along. But we were chatting away there about this was sort of one of your first workouts coming back after Unbound, and you had said you pretty much took a week off of training after Unbound.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. I think there's period because a lot of people listening have trouble taking time off. But do you want to tell us just a bit about that strategy and like the importance of that?
Yeah, I think I feel like we're mid-season now, so the first part of the season is done, and with Traka and Unbound, there are 2 major big goals, of course, and big races. And then, like I said, it's also the mental part. What is hard? I mean, you're constantly focused and you're constantly preparing yourself, and I think I maybe needed more a mental break than a physical break. And I decided with my coach to take a full week off, and then I have now enough time till my next race. I have basically the whole month of June to prepare for the second part of the season. And it's, I think, good also to have time in a week off to reflect back on everything, and especially on the Unbound race, and just to disconnect from it and then continue.
I'm so impressed by the week off because it's really hard.
It is
to
hard.
take a week off.
And you said to me, like you were feeling really good, like I'm sure the watts were good. Like there was that, like it wasn't like you were just caving in that way, but you said like mentally, logistically, you had to get across up, North America back here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like also all the traveling that adds up, of course. And then what I was mostly looking forward is just to be in one place and emptying my suitcase and just, wake up when you want to wake up and not having a plan. And it is not easy. I have to say, after some days, after 5 days, you're kind of like, maybe I want to move again. I'm feeling a little bit ready to do something again. But I also know, it's going to be a long season, so I better enjoy now the time off. Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually a really interesting thing because you're a gravel racer and like you're on the specialized off-road team, but like you're choosing your own schedule. So how do you pick your schedule? Because you can make it I mean, I know there's some races that are kind of key, but like how do you decide on what the schedule looks like for the season?
Yeah, I still find that a little bit hard because I feel like it's still quite new for me, and especially with now having all different series in a whole gravel season. I mean, you have the UCI races, you have the Gravel Earth series, then you have the Lifetime Grand Prix. It's like, what do you commit to? Yeah, of course, we have a few races from Specialized they really want us to do. So that's easy. That makes it kind of easier. And then, yeah, I looked a little bit like, okay, I want to do at least one UCI because I need to qualify for the Worlds. Would be nice maybe to have a second one to get some more points for the start positioning. But that wasn't my main focus. And then, the Gravel Earth series is a really nice series, but also kind of hard in the same way because the races are all spread and not always in the right time. So I just sat down with my coach and with the team, and then we just I said like, oh, this is a nice race, this I would like to do. And then the next one I do is the Oregon Trail, but it's more like, because it's a 5-day stage race, so it's a different impulse and different stimulation, I think, for the body. So that's why the coach said like, oh, it maybe will be good to add something like that and see how you respond to that. And then, go from there.
Ooh, I like it. Okay. But speaking of stage races, we also have to kind of back up. Like, you are no stranger to bike racing. Like you mentioned, you're kind of like newer to gravel, but like you raced on the road professionally. Then you were a professional soigneur. Then you came to gravel. So like, give us just sort of the quick backstory.
Seems like an odd development pathway, isn't it?
I know, normally it's the other way around, no? You like, you finish your career and then you work for a team. Most of the time, not as a soigneur, because I think they still see that as a bit of the, the mechanics and the soigneurs as just, that are just the mechanics and the soigneurs. Well, I think like, well, without them, the team does not run. So anyways, I started riding my bike when I was 19. I played volleyball for a very, very long time. And I got into cycling, raced for a club team that year. And then I got picked up by what is now SD Work, so Dolmans at that time. That was my first year in like the UCI team. But I was studying, working, same time, because, you don't get any money. There was at that time, no one got really paid, maybe 10 riders in the world. In the female side,
this was back in like the 2013, 2014-ish?
No, even 2011 was my first year with Dolmans. And then, but I had no idea what I was doing, and there were not enough resources in the team. Like there's no performance coach, or there were no coaches, or there was just, I don't know. It was very overwhelming for me. Then the year after, I raced in a Belgian team for 2 years, also UCI. I worked full time, and I found it really hard to find that balance, especially with me not knowing what I actually was doing. So I had no coach, and I never had a coach. And it's something like maybe I should have found someone, but also if you don't make money, it's, I don't know, it's this whole balance of like finding the right people. And then I just quit, and a year later I started to work as a soigneur, as a little bit of part-time, and then I got picked up by a women's team to do it full-time, and I did that basically for 8 years. And then, in 23, I kind of was a little bit done with it, and I thought like, it's time to change something. Gravel became bigger, and I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I just give it a try, because I feel like I haven't had the chance yet, and I think there's still more in me than what I have shown in the past.
Now, did you go to school for like physio or say, or like what were you doing at school?
So I went, I'm basically how you call that, a PT, but it's a teacher. No, so I did more the, being
physical
education teacher.
Great. Yeah, okay.
That's my degree.
Okay.
I worked a little bit as a teacher, but only for...
This is also working against your score in the Frisbee golf.
Oh, yeah, seriously.
Like,
I know.
I was bringing on my degree in physical education. Yeah, you were just like, I'm not saying anything.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Well,
Laura and I really should have gotten more of a handicap.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. Maybe you should have. Yeah, okay.
Is your degree in accounting or English and journalism? Yes. Okay. We get subtract 10 points from our final score.
So were you training then once you were a soigneur and you're working on the team, were you also like doing training just during the day and exercising during the day? Like how did that go for those 8 years?
Yeah, so then I actually went to massage school then I finished that. It was like a year long, and then I kind of got picked up by Kirsten Bild, who was back in the days, one of the best sprinters, and we live in the same city, and she asked me if I wanted to come with her on the road, and I always. Once I started working for Trek Segafredo, which is now Lidl Trek, Ina Teutenberg is a very active person. I mean, ex-cyclist as well. And she just kind of got me into running before breakfast. And then at one point we started to do a dawn patrol, as we call it. So we would ride before breakfast, like 5 a.m. in the morning, do like 1.5 hour loop or something. And then, breakfast and then go to work. And I actually felt it made me feel so much better. So I started to do it every day. And that's, I think, how I got fitter. And then I got really into trail running and running. And I signed up for some trail run events, and that went really well. And yeah, it's easier to combine, like working in the day and running doesn't take so much time. And yeah, I think but I didn't really train. I just did what I thought what felt good.
Yeah, we had the staff shuffle back when we managed a cyclocross team. It was like me and a bunch of the mechanics would just go out for little 5K runs in the morning because that's what you had time for.
That's when you have the time, and it just feels good. Yeah.
It is good for everyone to move too, because like you say, it's like such a full-on job. So yeah, we always try and like motivate a little bit of like get the physios or the soigneurs or whatever to be like, okay, like everyone's gonna come out and we'll do something. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, but now I'm mad that you didn't come to our I guess you're like probably contractually not supposed to be trail running well in the middle of your season.
I love to run, and I'm a kind of the first year when I started to do gravel, I actually still did some running in my training, but then slowly, that gets a little less because you're getting more tired or whatever. You have an important training session coming up. But every winter I said like, I cannot wait to off season. I cannot wait to go back to running. So for sure I want to show up on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, darn. We could have had you at Highlands again last night for our trail running. You could have been with me and done sweep. It was like a nice little shuffle.
Yeah, well, I would go really slow, I guess, yeah.
Be careful, yeah. So you just did Unbound. You did okay.
Yeah,
Unbound.
kind of
did okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we were so excited. You threw a couple of tacks there that were just like so exciting to watch. So I guess my question, I was telling you a bit about like when I race longer races, I find it like mentally after 2 hours. So do you have any tricks? Like, what do you do? Like, it's so intense in the first couple hours with the first selections and everything. Like, how do you stay focused throughout like 100 or 200-mile race, a 10-hour, 11-hour day?
Yeah, I think for me, sometimes the longer distances are actually better. And that's maybe because I find myself sometimes a little bit of a diesel, so I need to have some time to warm up. And then after 3 hours, like, okay, yes, I'm ready to go.
I understand that feeling.
I think it's a lot of mental preparation you can do beforehand. And I kind of split up the races. So like you have 3 feed stations. So basically I'm not thinking so much about what's coming up. I just think like, okay, I need to go to the first feed station. That's where I see my staff group. That's where I get the new nutrition. So by that time I need to finish this nutrition. And then we go on the next block. And then, but I have to say, the last 90K was actually a struggle to stay concentrated and stay really focused. The first part went really, really well, but I think it's also where the most things happened with the course and important parts of the course. And then after that, it was more like, okay, there's some hills, but it's more rolling and it's going to be fine. It's easier to get to the finish. So I think there you get a little bit more sleepy and more tired, I would say.
Yeah, okay, but that was also where your group, it was 5 of you, I think, and then that's where one of your attacks came, I think, in that last 90 minutes, was it? The one you threw? I can't recall the spot.
Yeah, the plan was for me to try to go on the attacks, and I think, I'm second place is really, really, really good, but the first, and that was good, but I have a rest week after that because I had a lot of time to reflect on it and think back about it. Because my first reaction was actually that I was kind of disappointed in myself that I didn't do more in these last 90K of the race, and so at one point I knew I had to attack. Okay, I have to say the wind was not in my favor at all. So like we had a lot of headwind. And, doing attacks then, that's really hard. And I mean, some others, they tried maybe and no one really got away. So at one point you also kind of know, like, what's the point? It's so hard to get away anyways. Mm-hmm. And then in the last, I think maybe 10, 15K or something, I did an attack and I got Rosa with me. And I was hoping she would wanted to work with me. But yeah, it didn't really go anywhere, and then the others came back, and then at one point you're like, okay, maybe this was my last chance, and I think I was kind of I was only disappointed in myself. But everyone says like you did great, and it's so impressive, and I can see it now, and I'm like, I learned a lot as well. I never been in this situation, and I think it's still quite new for me. So I for sure take this with me for the next upcoming races.
Yeah. Yeah, I think both things can be like you were really close to winning, so that's really hard to take.
Yeah.
But also, like, what a wild day! Like the number of like weather events you were part of.
And I know, and I'm very proud of how I all managed that, because I mean, like that's already a really challenge. Like once we hit the first mud after what was it, 20, 30 Ks or something, and then it kept going and going, and you're like, well, when is this gonna stop? Well, not really. And then there were some important parts, and like around 70K, 80K. Then you got the hill. Then we got crosswind, where I made actually the split that we got away with this 4 others, so 5, and then someone bridged. So, all the things what was important in the race, I managed to do really well. So, I can be for sure proud of that.
Yeah. And okay, how was the team dynamic? Because it was you and Sophia in there. So, I mean, like, your teammate did, in fact, win. So, like, major positive there. But, like, how does that change the gravel race? Like,
and I guess you can be specific or general. Like, we could also ask, like, how do you think teams are going to evolve, I guess, as well? But you can also be specific about the specialized teams, or obviously the newsmaker.
Yeah, so, like, of course, like, specialized wants to win, and it doesn't matter who wins. They just want to win as a brand, because that's, of course, good for the bike, and especially with the new Crux 5 coming out. And I think we ticked all these boxes with the men's side and the women's side. So we are with 6 riders in the team. Annika, she didn't come. So we were with 5, and all of us 5 were on the podium. So I think that's a pretty good result.
Yeah,
not bad at all. And I think, well, especially with the men, you could see they did the tactics really well, with Keegan also offering this wheel, giving
what a newsworthy like thing. Yeah, that's like the amount of debate and everything. But what a cool, like, that is an example of where teams and gravel are meaningful.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's heading more towards that direction as well. So you see the Canyon team, for example. But it is still in transition, like, because you also still have the privateers. And I think also with us inside the team, we still need to manage a little bit, like, how we do this as to work as a team, because you also need to have that personality where you want to sacrifice for someone else, for example. And because the sport has always been in a privateer sport, and also because we have all winners on the team, it can be hard sometimes, like how we gonna manage that. Sure. So the plan was very clear. I had to go on a solo attack, and then if not, then Sophia would go for the sprint. So we managed really well by 1 and 2.
Yeah, and that was all assuming that you all got through the craziness of the 190
so there was, like,
miles.
Let's say we need to get many as possible people in the front. Okay, we only with 2, so that we both are in the front of the race. That was, that's already a really
good
really
advantage.
Good thing, And then we have more cards to play for sure.
Okay, now I don't know if it ever got like officially like confirmed by everyone, but like the commentators were saying that like Sophia was on, like right before you attacked, Sophia was on the phone. Was she texting you? Is that what happened? Like,
oh, no. She wasn't texting me like go on an attack. She was texting with Mike, the performance coach from the specialized team. So he was sitting at home in South Africa, and he was watching the live streams, and he gave us sometimes information through like phones, and then we could see it on the head unit. So,
that's so funny.
Yeah. No, there was not so much communication between Sophia and I in the race
Well,
itself.
I was like, I don't think that's how they would. I'm like, they could just whisper when they cross each other in the lines, and no one would hear them. I'm like, there's no need to text.
No, exactly. No. We did. It's someone else also asked the same thing, but no, we didn't. We didn't text.
Yeah.
We also didn't have the radios because that was also the question that some people thought that we had the radios, but also we didn't have it.
But I do like that loophole with the cell phones and the heads now. Like, yeah, you could get information.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like in Traka, there's the rule that it's not allowed.
Right.
Here it is allowed, and yeah, it can help for sure because we knew that the men, they went out and that they hit that mud section, and I think a lot of men, they couldn't even go
chaos.
through.
Yeah, like
So-
instantly stopped.
Exactly. So
Now,
Mike
if they had a
messaged-
Crux 5, they would have had more clearance.
Well, I guess so. Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Well, I got through, and the boys as well. So I
Yeah.
didn't have to get off the bike, but it was nice to know. Like Mike messaged, and he says like, "Heads up, be aware. Like, stay off the mud." And then just get managed through. But I thought like, well, I will check what the other girls are doing, and
because the women made it much better, I think.
yeah,
on the
I don't
whole.
know. Yeah.
I don't know if it
Exactly.
changed or something. Like,
Well, we have to. Well, I think we only started 15 minutes late, and apparently the guys, they did a much longer neutral because the motorbike went wrong. So they had to do another loop through town before they actually hit the
Oh, I
gravel.
haven't heard that story.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But I think towards the end, with 20k to go, there was another section where I think the guys kind of had to get off the bike because it was still muddy. And okay, we came there an hour and a half later, and it was fully dry. So yeah,
Okay, so it
That's-
did.
yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, such a odd pockets of weather in that place.
I know. Yes, we
Okay.
had a kind of all the weather.
So now tires. Do you want what? This is always the question. What tires did you run at Unbound?
So I had the Pathfinder 50s.
Okay.
And there's always this whole discussion, and it's every year the same, about the weather and what you're going to do. And are you going to go smaller? Or are you going to change to tracers? Or are you going to change to this? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay out of this because it stresses me out. And by the end of the day, it doesn't change maybe that much. So I trained on the 50s for the whole time on the Pathfinders. And I was like, I'm fine with this. I feel comfortable with this. I have enough clearance, so I stick to the 50 Pathfinders, and
Yeah.
it was a good decision.
Yeah. And especially now because the clearance is so big on that bike that like that 50 probably had tons of clearance.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, if you think like maybe if you go to 45, what is it? In the end, it's 5 mil.
It's not
You
very
maybe
much.
get 2 pedal strokes.
No, I'm always amazed. Yeah, with mountain bikes, I was like hesitant to go from 2.2 to 2.4 because that's what we used for so long. And then I
Yeah.
looked at it and I was like, it looks exactly the same.
Exactly. And then maybe you get 2 pedal strokes further, but I mean, like,
Right.
that doesn't.
Right.
So I'm like, no, I stick to the 50s. It's long enough to,
Yeah, and that's with a lot of masters that we work with too. It's sort of like you got to just find the thing that works, and it'll mostly work for you.
Exactly. And in the end, I feel confidence on that, and then I'm like, well, why should I change it? So
Yeah, that tire is like probably one of the top 3 I would say that I see people using.
yeah,
and it's-
I mean, like okay, of course I'm sponsored by Specialized, but I mean, I have to say it's a very, very good tire.
No, I think a
mean,
lot of people use it who
yes.
like would prefer not to use Specialized tires.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Yeah,
It's-
which is the best endorsement.
it is-
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. This is sort of a random tire question, but and maybe you already answered it. Like, say you had to race the whole season on one tire,
Yeah, then I will pick the Pathfinder.
still in a 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Do you want to hit up the rest of your gear questions that people always ask
Well,
about?
So then the other one was like, are you guys waxing chains?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
use Silca.
Oh, okay.
Silca wax, and just basically we do the pre-ride just still on the old chain, and then they put the chain on the night before, and
Oh,
then
wow.
it's because I do a bit of a warm-up anyway, so then you break in the chain enough, and then it stays good.
Okay.
Wait, a bit of a warm up. Talk about that because
So
I
you
feel
warm
like,
up for a 200-mile race.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people
I know.
do not realize this.
No, I know, it's kind of crazy. So we stayed maybe 5.5 or 6 Ks out of town from the start line, and we all rode together with the boys and the girls all
Nice.
together to the start.
Yeah.
And then, I just went up and down on the street a little bit, like just a few openers, because you never know. The thing is with gravel that sometimes you start so fast, and directly like high speed attacks and these kind of things. And like I said before, I'm sometimes a little bit of a diesel. And I thought like I need a few openers, even that it's a 330k race. But you know what? It will help me on the long run probably. So, and then I just spinned my legs a little bit on the rollers before I went to the start line. Yeah.
Sometimes I think too with mountain biking, I like to like just make sure that like everything is fastened to the bike. So the openers are, yes, opening your legs, but also just the chain is
I know. It is like these little things, like if the gearing works, if the tires are fine.
Like even with the best mechanics, sometimes it's like, oh, just like something broke.
I know,
Sorry.
and it can happen.
Yeah.
And yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And these,
Yeah.
it's always good to check these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
We keep even in like 100 milers, like
running.
Running. I warm up.
Yeah.
Like, which sounds nuts because they don't even start that fast usually. But honestly, for me, it's more of a digestive thing.
I know it is,
honest.
and it is also kind of like you get your body awake and ready, and kind of like, okay, are we ready to do this?
Exactly. And honestly, for me, like dump out a little bit of like the adrenaline because I get the world's worst race morning nerves.
Oh,
I'm like
man.
totally fine once it goes. And actually, on that note, how are you with race day or race morning?
Yeah, they're always there. I mean, you feel it like your heart rate is more elevated and these kind of things. And it's trying to stay calm much as possible. So I've been working on like, for example, just take a moment where I just check in with myself and try to cut out all the noises around me. But yeah, especially on a day like this, it is sometimes I have to say I'm more nervous the days before than actually the race day morning itself, because it feels like, you know what, everything is done now. I cannot change anything anymore. I just need to show up now.
And it's almost a relief to be like, oh, thank God,
exactly.
we can finally get this going.
Because on Wednesday I thought like, oh no, I need more days. It's coming too soon. I still feel like I need to do so many things. But then I was thinking, yeah, but if it was 2 days later, I would still have the same thought. So maybe it's better we get over this.
100%. 100%.
And probably with especially the early start, you sort of like, at least now you can start going through the checklist or the like pre-performance routine of like, okay, wake up, have the cereal, have the whatever,
Exactly.
and then get out the door. And
Yeah.
So whereas the days before you're sort of like, well, I will sit here for 8 hours.
Exactly. And trying to eat and everything. And you have much more time to think about it all. So it's nice to start. Yes, for sure.
Actually, how was that transition? Because road racing, the races tend to not start at like early
5
o'clock,
a.m.,
like 5 a.m. Suddenly now, like these races, you're up really early.
Very early,
some of the time.
Yeah, I mean 6 o'clock is very early to start a bike
really
race.
Early start time.
I mean, like as a soigneur, you had times that you had to wake up early anyways, and especially with the women's races, sometimes they're before the men. If it was
true.
like, for example, the classics, we had that time when it was the Ardennes. I think they started at 9 already. So then for the soigneurs, they needed to be up before the riders. So, but yeah, for sure, it's very different. I don't like it at all. 6 o'clock race day. I mean, it's nice at 10 o'clock. If you're in the race, you're like, oh, I've done already 4 hours. That's great. But man, it is that eating at 3:30 in the morning and,
Short night sleep.
Short night of sleep because you're trying to adjust to like the times and everything. But you know how it's just really hard. Mm-hmm. So, it's not my favorite, but it is what it is. And because especially when the races are so long, I guess we need to go up early.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Now let's get back to let's back out to training a little bit.
Yeah.
So Peter Peter, do you want to ask this question about Unbound training workouts?
Well, I guess, yeah, let's be specific. Like we could just be like, what do you do for training? But that's like a large can of worms. But as you came into Unbound, what would you say like the key workouts, like you were like, I will be ready for Unbound now because I did, like, is there workouts in your mind that like were really key for this like 200-mile ordeal?
It's hard to say because people ask like, do you do how many hours you do in training on a bike?
Yeah,
and I'm like, my longest one was maybe, I don't think even before the Unbound. Maybe my longest one was actually only 5 hours.
Okay.
Or like 5 or 6 hours.
Okay, well that's good. I always like to hear that because everyone wants to do like, I need to do 200. And you did do the Tracka beforehand.
I did the Tracka before.
But even before the Tracka, you didn't do an 18-hour ride.
I was actually sick before the Tracka, so that was a bit of a bummer. So I had for sure not a 6-hour ride in there. I was supposed to do, I think, 5 or 6 hours, and I cut it to 4 because I'm not feeling great. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the first year when I did it 24, I had a different coach at that time, but I did, for example, back to back. So like in the weekend, like 6 hours one day, 6 hours the other day. So then you have directly 12 hours. But I think, because of all the amount of training we do anyways, you're kind of ready for these long distance. And then I do sometimes, or I have to do in my last hour of a long training, then do the efforts. Or like do some in the beginning, then just keep riding for the time, and then in the last hour do like pretty hard efforts.
Right.
And I think that's also what's really helpful for like these longer races, to get used to that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have one that I use a lot for like Leadville, and then we call it the hard way home, where it's like you have to be on the wrong side of ideally a mountain, and then you have to get home. And
Okay. That's kind of
and you can, it just like sort of forces you to do it, right? I think those are really effective. But I love to hear that like, I think we've heard Sophia in the past say that your teammate as well, that like I think it was like a 5 or 6 hour ride was the biggest before. Yeah. But like you say, it's the consistency across. It doesn't sound like a lot, but then you also did a lot of other rides in the week.
Yes, exactly. And also I think once you have done this long distance, you can do it.
Yes.
And if I feel great on a ride and I have 5 hours, maybe, I might extend it a little bit with half an hour, just because I'm feeling really well.
Note half an hour, not 3 hours.
Or maybe an hour. Yeah. Absolutely not 9 hours.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, I've never done a training ride like that.
Interesting. Okay, well, that's always good. That's always like a good quote to be like, yeah, but this is what they... Because sometimes the logic gets weird where it's like, well, the best people in the world with the best recovery do this, but then the rest of us with limited time and, we're all getting older, so it's like the recovery isn't good. You also have to mow the lawn. And
Yes,
it's
exactly.
Like, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
And
why
then they
are
think,
we
like,
doing 9-hour rides?
Yeah, but I mean, like, you don't have to.
Yeah.
No, for sure you don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay, now you mentioned when you were on the road, you didn't work with a coach, and that was like not ideal. And now you do work with a coach. Like, talk about that. Like, what made you finally go with okay, gonna get a coach this time?
So it's, how I got into gravel with the specialized team was basically through Anna van der Breggen, who is a good friend of mine, and she worked as a DS for SD Works. And then, so I was kind of under-specialized, but then also got the support from the team, from SD Works. And then Anna said directly okay, but then I want to coach you. Because Anna was coaching at that time already some riders, so that's how we started in the gravel. So I didn't really have to find a coach. It was just she offered kind of because it's a bit of my project, because Specialized doesn't know you, and they just listen to Danny Stam and me saying oh, you're a really good rider, and that's how Specialized took me. So she said it's a bit of a responsibility of me as well that you do the right thing. So which worked out really well. And then, I worked with Anna, and then Anna thought hey, this is fun. I'm also going to go back to racing again.
I was going to say, how did this can't possibly, is this still happening? Because I think she was racing a pretty big race.
Yes.
Whilst you were doing Unbound.
I know, exactly. It's so funny. Anna and I, we know each other already for many, many years. And she was actually the one who got me into cycling. Then we raced 2 years together in this Belgian team as well. Well, she actually wanted to quit cycling because she did it already when she was 6 years. And I'm no, let's just go both to this team. And because I was really new, and for me it was really exciting. For her it was a bit I don't know, I just finished my study. I don't know if I want to continue, blah, blah. And I'm well, let's try. And then, okay, she got really good, of course. She's so talented.
Wow.
So it's a cool story. And then, she became a DS. I was a soigneur. I got back to cycling again. A year later, she thought hey, I'm also going to go back to cycling. How cool is this? And then at one point, it got a little bit more complicated because she was at the Vuelta. I crashed bad at Traca. I broke something, but I still wanted to do Unbound. And then she didn't have really time to, look into my schedule, these kind of things. And at one point we said hey, maybe this is not working anymore. You should focus on your career. I should find another coach who has, time enough for me. And then we kind of went separate ways. We're still really good friends, but she said I need to step back from coaching. So now I work with someone else, and that works out really well.
I love this so much. I feel I wonder if part of her decision to get back in racing was seeing how much fun you were having.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I think we kind of had the same feeling about some riders in the World Tour. where she also thought like, I think I can do better. And that's what I had as well. Like I got a little bit annoyed with some of the riders, how they approached it and how they take everything for granted and not, but then complaining a lot. And I think Anna had the same thing. And she thought like, especially when Anna started and when Anna was really, really good, she didn't make the money as they make now. And she's like, I can actually make good money here, so maybe I'm going to go back to cycling.
The sort of like 8 years or whatever changed things a little bit.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay, and training-wise, we talked about you were doing some running. You still like the running, but it doesn't really fit in. What about other stuff? Do you do any strength? Do you do any mobility? What's like the rest of the week look like off the bike?
No, I really like to go to the gym. And I also feel it's very important for me, very effective. Maybe it's because I sometimes say I'm just so tall and like this, I need to work a lot on my core that everything works together, like my long limbs and everything. But I just feel it's a very important to do strength training. And I feel... So I want to for sure do that weekly. I also did, for example, on Wednesday before Unbound, I still would go to the gym, and I feel like then 2 days later, 3 days later, I feel the effect of it. So yeah, for sure, strength training, do mobility, like to stretch every night. Do it sometimes in the morning as well, just to keep the body moving. Maybe it's also needed when you're getting older.
100%, yeah.
Yes.
Now, a little nitty gritty. Do you do like heavier lifts throughout the year? Like, would you be putting like a bar on your back and doing squats, or is it more like, let's say, core training or something like that, or a bit of both?
It's a bit of a combination, but I still do the heavy stuff as well, like deadlifts and squats and things like that. A lot of single leg as well. Lunges, things like that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think it's just low reps and high weights, and that works pretty well for me.
Which is like, I think sometimes I like, you'll see people and like they should know that, and you're like, but then they're like going up and they're like, oh no, it's in season, so I'm going to do like 10 reps, and you're like, that's a good way to get sore if you start doing like more and more.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Which is almost, I could see why they think that, right? That like heavy weights make you sore. You're like, but if you just don't do a lot, it's usually not, it's so bad.
Yeah, exactly. And I think in the off season, just the months leading up to the first races, I try to do sometimes 2 times a week,
right?
Because you have a bit more time and think and all of it. And then to maintain it, it's sometimes hard because you're traveling or racing and these kind of things. But I always try to find a gym somewhere.
Which does take a bit of effort, but I think it's worthwhile. Yeah.
For me, it feels really good, and it's also nice to do something different. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like see, like I know that when we've traveled, sometimes like you just see something else other than your hotel room or whatever.
Oh yeah, but I also find it sometimes so entertaining to just be in the gym and see all these different people.
Yes, there are all types. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, well, you're welcome to our garage gym while you're here.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, and then the 3 of us have been talking a lot about heat training here since you got here. What's your like heat adaptation strategy right now? What are we up to?
Well, I was saying to Peter as well today on the training, like it's pretty new for me, and I sometimes think like it seems like it's also a really big hype, like everyone is doing it, and then you know how it is on Instagram, everyone sees it and thinks like, oh, I need to do the same thing. I have done a little bit, but not. Nothing too crazy or nothing to like very make it like a whole period of doing heat training. But now the coach said like we should try to do some more, because also you're going to Oregon, which is not super high on altitude, but it's still a bit of an altitude. And to be honest, it really helps if you're well adapted to the heat in training for sure and racing. So it's kind of new for me, but I mean, I didn't do anything last year. I only start this year with a couple of times, and it will be this period a bit more controlled and more often. So I'm really curious about the effect of it as well.
I think definitely in like the stage race situation, as we were saying, like you were literally like cooling down as we were chatting before, and like the ability for your body to get better at like getting that heat out like more efficiently or feeling less terrible.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like I never was really good in the heat when I was like years ago. And of course, my body is adapting to it. And I think living in Spain helped a lot because you're kind of in hot weather there. And so I can feel it's changing, and it's in a good way. But I think like I might be still, can still improve in that sense as well.
It's funny. I'm always told, or my dad mentioned like a few times how bad I am in heat, and now it's become this like horrible thing that I just think about myself.
Oh, that you are bad in heat. Yes.
It's a horrible. So we try and joke about it, but it is like a thing that's always like
It's
now.
always then in your mind.
Especially when your dad says it, you're like, oh no. So we try and make
it
it
a
like,
mental thing.
Yeah, you know how bad you are in the heat.
But what do you find easier, like doing this sauna as well, direct
I think the sauna, and I admit I fully do not like. I have not fully embraced the heat
Like heat
adaptation,
training.
like full on training. I'm a casual heat adaptation.
Yeah, I feel like I'm also still casual. I know that my teammate Mass, I was saying to Peter as well, like he is really, really into it, but already the whole year, and it seemed to work really well for him. But I think it asks also a lot mental strength, because it is just really hard. Like I love to sit in a sauna. Did I love it today? No, not really. After my 3.5 hour ride with efforts, no, because it's very uncomfortable. But I mean, some people, they just really love it and they just go full in, and it works really well for them. I think for others it might not, but that's you know, we all different. So let's see.
Yeah, the last few days with how hot it's been here, I've been more inclined to go from my run to the cold outdoor shower versus the get hotter in the sauna situation.
Yeah. Well, good for you. I would do the same thing. Yeah,
well, we'll go swim after this.
At least I know that in Oregon we're staying sometimes near a river, so then at least I can cool down after the race. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, the important question that we haven't asked yet. You're from the Netherlands. How have you not raced cyclocross yet? How is this not on your like list of sports to do?
To be honest, I mean, I had a cyclocross bike because, like I said, I was working full time. So then sometimes you had to do the training at night. And there was from the club, they did a cyclocross training. So I joined them. So we would go by bike to the training, which was maybe an hour, and then do your training of an hour or two, and then go back by bike, all in the dark. But I think I was just so bad at it that I thought like, I did one race because Anna did it, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna sign up to. Well, it was a joke for me. Crashed a million times and whatever. So I thought like, okay, no, this is not for me. Also, I think it's just so short that by the time I'm warmed up, we already finished. So I don't know. I mean, I love to watch it. Do I like to do it? Not that much.
You know what? That's realistically probably how I feel about cyclocross.
Molly's the biggest fan, but we'll
biggest
see.
fan.
But
You need to be technical good as well. And I just don't feel like I have the skills. And maybe if I would put a lot of effort in, yes, I would for sure get better. But me starting at that time, I'm like, whoa, these kids, they have done it since they're 6 years old.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Although clearly you have skills that would apply to cyclocross, given the mud at Unbound, given some of those sections and everything. Like, it didn't seem like you had any moments of struggle there.
No, I mean, for sure, like I said, you get better in it by doing it, for sure. And I feel in the gravel, I'm fine, I'm good. I mean, like, I'm not the best one. I know other riders, I'm technically much better, but I'm still kind of well in what I'm doing. Maybe it helps because, okay, in the Netherlands, you grow up with a bike, in a city bike, which is different. But I mean, I don't know if you ever rode your city bike in the Netherlands, but it can be very chaos. And there's a lot of corners and this and that, and you go for the city, and then sometimes you have a friend on the back of your bike, and you know, and so you for sure maybe learn subconsciously kind of skills as well, which I can apply maybe now in the gravel. And I think I'm not super afraid for downhills and things like that. I actually enjoy them. So yeah, these skills are fine. But if it's really technical, then no, I'm out.
I remember seeing like just even like, you know, an older person would like roll up on a bike to the supermarket and they'd like do like a cyclocross dismount and just like put their city bike into their, and I was like, wow, like, you have to teach people this all the time. And it's just the average person is just busting it out in the middle of the city.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't even thinking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, last real question here is best advice for someone who's doing Unbound for the first time, because again, it's like it's the bucket list race. It's it is. I mean, like, it is a really, really, I really like Unbound, and I don't know what it is, because it is special in its own way. My advice is like, just always keep going and keep pushing, and you always go through hard moments, but you can go through that, and suddenly you find yourself in a really good moment, and where you really enjoy it, and just never give up. I love it. Moment to moment.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, Peter, any last?
I think that was fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Where can people find and follow you?
So it's Gee and then Schreurs, which is a bit harder. But I think if you put on Instagram,
We'll put a link in the show notes.
Yeah, that's better. I mean, I'm not super big on social media, but a follow is always nice. Yeah.
You have a great Instagram. Everyone should go follow you. Thank you so much. This was so fun.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the Consummate Athlete Podcast. If you want to hear more training, racing, and endurance sport advice, make sure you subscribe to the podcast and leave us a rating and review. You can also subscribe to our newsletter at consummateathlete.com for a weekly dose of inspiration and advice straight to your inbox.